Actually, my goal in this life is about loss also. It's about losing my ego, which stands in the way of my consciousness. I mean, I get so concerned about what other people think about me, whether I can do this lecture, whether I'm good enough, and I think my vision of myself, that I carry around, I suppose, like most people do when they were a little child and they were told that you're just not good enough, and you carry that view of yourself around, and then of course that has its benefits too, because you try real hard to be good enough, and you accomplish many things in this life because your view is you're not good enough, and therefore you have to work real hard to be good, This does happen. Anyway, I suspect this happens to most people, that they carry part of themselves, part of that brain, part of their nature, part of their personality is they're not good enough. But the truth is, forgive yourself. We have to forgive ourselves for not being good enough. We're plenty good enough. We are, the fact that we are is about we don't believe it, and consequently we keep trying and trying and trying, and no matter what we accomplish, our ego demands that we accomplish even more, or people won't like us, or we won't be fulfilled in this life. Actually, fulfillment is really happiness, but you cannot get fulfilled. Our lives, for most people that I know, is about suffering. Okay, there are moments of joy, but by and large, unless they have found that beautiful, immortal being that's inside of themselves, and that their Wizard of Is, if you will, and stay in this present moment, because this is where the happiness is. It's certainly not in the future. Have a future bound by a wheelchair. No. That's a horror to be thinking of that all the time. No, our consciousness has to be on our life. Our consciousness is our life. We are our consciousness, and if we don't recognize that importance, if we don't continually and for the most part stay in that consciousness of this life, so that we become conscious of our consciousness. Consciousness is an amazing thing. I remember watching Oprah Winfrey recently, and she was interviewing this woman who is a spiritual teacher, and Oprah asked her definition of God, and the woman, it was amazing to me that her definition didn't satisfy me. I mean, what she was talking about certainly isn't my vision of what God is. God to me is consciousness. He is like a sea of consciousness. And when we enter that sea of consciousness, we have an opportunity to be really happy in this life. So this is what it's about. This is how you cope with the loss. You want to lose something, then lose your ego. That's what you got to lose, because when you lose your ego, you gain that who you are. You gain that consciousness. You gain that God consciousness.